Good morning, everybody. It is September 7th in the early morning. I just finished my meditation, trying to follow what I said yesterday, getting up early and doing my meditation. And I didn't get to sleep till about 2, a little bit later than 2. I was up really thinking last night I was on a phone call with a friend, and I noticed that I got a Facebook message, and just had a look at it, and quite often I'll get messages of from people sending me anti-vaccine stuff. This one was particularly upsetting, just because the person who messaged me should know, about my recent loss. And I guess I should back up saying that allegedly this person, she feels, lost a family member. She's saying that was a brain hemorrhage that was from the vaccine. Now, I can't say whether that's true or not. I mean, a loss is a loss. However, I know that when there are deaths like that, there are autopsy reports, and whether or not this was truly related to the vaccine or not, I'm not sure. That being said, it's very sad. Of course, nobody should have to go through loss like this. I mean, okay, qualify. We all die. But when we're taken too young for whatever reason, it's always awful and sad. I tried really hard to be reasonable, and I asked, please right now, just don't, I mean, I didn't know about this person's loss. So I just asked, please don't send me this stuff right now. I can't, just not going to pay attention to it. And, respectfully asked, mentioned about my losses. I didn't, just wanted to remind the person that, I'm kind of going through a rough time right now. Again, not realizing at the time that this person had lost lost a family member. Anyway, then this person proceeded to attack me, saying how selfish I am. I'm not the only one grieving. Her people are dying, etc., etc., etc. And, it became about, I just left it. I didn't go on about, why do there need to be, why is there a contest of who's grieving worse than the other? Everybody has their own grief. And whatever, death does weird things to people, I think. I saw it in, families that have lost somebody when I was working in long-term care, and it just ripped families apart. But anyway, back to story. I was harassed and really felt abused. She was nasty, calling me names, telling me to read my Bible, saying she felt sorry for me, and I don't know what she was trying to get at by sending me this stuff. Like, it's not, sending me this stuff isn't about how horrible the vaccines are, in her opinion, isn't going to change anything for my family. My husband is gone out of my life. Had he had the vaccine, he would be alive today. My whole family is vaccinated, so that's not going to change our mind about getting the vaccine. We're all vaccinated. So I don't understand the purpose of sending me information like that. And I don't message people specifically saying, and harassing them, telling them how stupid and using all sorts of nasty words if they choose to not get vaccinated. I would love to try to change their minds, but I would just offer them some information, not try to beat them with my words. And if they choose to not get vaccinated, that's entirely up to them. I just wish that people wouldn't continue to carry on ridiculous behaviors because of their beliefs about the vaccine. Well, adverse events happen with all vaccines, not just this one, and they are horribly unfortunate. If you look at the numbers of people that are vaccinated and the numbers of adverse events, they are so low comparing the number of deaths and adverse events that happen from COVID-19. I ask you and urge you to put your emotions aside and look at the facts. You can't deny the numbers. The numbers are there. And I'm scared for people who are not vaccinated because you're playing Russian roulette with your life. Again, it's your choice. I'm not going to come to you and call you an idiot and abuse you and send you message after message after message after message on Facebook to the point where your head is spinning to tell you to read whatever. It's your choice. If you want to take the chance on your life and your family's lives, okay, that's up to you. Anyway, I unfortunately had to block her messages because it was late at night, for one. It was after 11. And I don't understand. I still feel like, I need to walk in compassion and love. And acknowledge her pain for whatever she's going through that I don't understand. Because I know she must be hurting. I understand that deeply. Losing someone is the worst pain. I lost my husband. She lost her cousin. We both are in deep amounts of pain. Still, I don't go attacking people. And people who don't want to mask and who don't want to get vaccinated, I don't understand the behaviors of blocking hospitals so that ambulances can't get by, so that people can't get medical attention. What's the purpose of that? What are you trying to do? don't understand. If you want to get vaccinated, get vaccinated. If you don't leave it there. Don't, you know, anti-vaxxers talk about taking their choices away. Well, what about our choice to get vaccinated and our choice not to die from COVID, and our choice to get medical attention when we need it, that don't even have to do with COVID. For those of you who don't know, I didn't look at this because I'm not watching the news right now, really. I'm not really looking at the numbers right now. I'm trying to focus on doing what I need to do to get better. Like doing my meditations, honoring what I need to do for me, doing my grief counseling, following my grief book. Lost my train of thought there. Sorry. Anyway, there's a poem, if I can get it. I had it on my phone here. Just give me a sec. But I wanted to read what I thought was really good that came from the Transcendental Meditation this morning. I just wanted to read it. It really sat with me on how to, I guess, where I sit with this information, like what happened. Also, last night was a new moon, and usually in a new moon, during a new moon, I do some shadow work where I look at the darker places in my life and work on the darker places of self. And last night sure was a dark place. The hurt, the anger that was coming at me for reasons I don't understand. And then my hurt and anger that I felt after that. And like I said, I don't generally block people on Facebook, but I couldn't stop the messages. I asked, kindly, please, I feel like I'm being harassed. Please stop messaging me. It would be best to talk when everyone is calm. I mean, I was calm, I remained calm. And how I didn't understand, because, like, why? Anyway, the poem. I think it's called When We Plant a Rose Seed in the Earth. When we plant a rose seed in the earth, we notice that it is small, but we do not criticize it as rootless and stemless. We treat it as a seed, giving it the water and nourishment required of a seed. When it first shoots up out of the earth, we don't condemn it as immature and underdeveloped, nor do we criticize the buds for not being open when they appear. We stand in wonder at the process taking place and give the plant the care it needs at each stage of its development. The rose is a rose from the time it is a seed to the time it dies. Within it, at all times, it contains its whole potential. It seems to be constantly in the process of change, yet at each state, at each moment, it is perfectly all right as it is. And that's a poem by W. Timothy Galway. I think I'm saying that right, Gallwey. That really sat with me today, and I think it's, if we ponder that, it's, it was a nice fluff that floated by. I have pets. It's good advice for treating others in the manner of they're all right as they are, and we shouldn't condemn them or criticize them for being something that they're not, because they're perfect as they are, as well as for ourselves. So that's a good reminder to me today that in whatever I'm going through and whatever I'm walking, whatever path or journey that I'm on right now, that I'm me and always will be me, and I'm a wondrous me and a grand me, in whatever growth stage I'm at. And that my purpose is to be me and not be something else. That being said, in the description of yesterday's video, I don't know how to do all this fancy face or YouTube stuff. I posted a link to a channeling of an entity called Cryon. Now, while this won't be for everybody, I met the entity of Cryon. I think it was back in the early 2000s. When I say met, I mean that I first heard a channeling of the entity of Cryon, of magnetic service, is what it starts with. I'm not sure what that means. But Cryon seems to be filled with wisdom for us. And again, it's not going to be for everybody, but it sure called me. And I went out and bought a Cryon book and then kind of left it alone for a number of years. And the messages of Cryon have seemed to come back into my life. And the video was entitled, it's by a fellow, Cryon is channeled by a fellow named Lee Carroll, who's a very humble individual, and at least that's my impression. And I just feel comfort in the messages of Cryon. I don't watch them very often, and they seem to show up at times that are, I'm going to use the word auspicious. Anyway, it was entitled something to the effect of what happens when we take our last breath on earth. As I've been really struggling with beating myself up a bit, not dealing particularly well, I don't know, with my grief and mourning process, having huge expectations of myself, not understanding why I'm not okay, because I guess I just can't give myself permission truly to just not be okay. And as I mentioned in the video, not being able to be still and not being able to relax and just be quiet. Well, I can be quiet, but you know what I mean, just not be busy. And wondering why I'm not sensing Mike's presence. That's the deepest pain for me right now. I have not had dreams when others have. Probably because I don't sleep. But, you know, both my grandsons and one of my sons have had dreams of my beloved. And people feel that that is the way that spirit sometimes contacts people, is through dreams. And so I long to have that connection with him. Anyway, so this video from Cryon talked about what happens to us when we leave this linear plane. And again, these messages aren't for everybody, and it totally depends on what your beliefs are. About the afterlife or spirit, and do we carry on? And Cryon explains how this is not just new. This is ancient wisdom that has come from cultures so far back, and cultures all over the globe, not just particular ones, and not particular faiths. And that science is trying to find this stuff out, because we don't come back to prove it, kind of thing. Although, you know, there are mediums, and I'm very sensitive to spirit, usually. And I've actually operated in that capacity somewhat in the past. For those of you who don't know. So I don't talk about it a lot, because I just don't. And things became more evident after my life-altering event in 2002. Anyway, Cryon was saying that essentially, I can't remember exactly the words, but at first I was disheartened a little bit by some of the words, and then at the end, like it's right at the end, I don't know, 5-ish minutes or so of the video, that talks about being everywhere, and how the people that have left us, and the pets and etc., that have left us, are constantly with us and constantly around us, and that we should teach our children and let them know that, you know, when we leave this plane, that we're still there, we're still around, and we can, like the science of a particle, that one particle can exist simultaneously in 2 different places of the universe, and essentially that we're never disconnected. And so I found great comfort in that. And really, I need to, again, stop being so busy and just sit back and listen. Just be still and be present and listen. How about that? Sorry, that just sort of took me right there, that light flicker. And I have a cat that wants in. Anyway, I may link that video here if I can figure it out. And I apologize for this really long video. And I apologize for the quality of it. As I mentioned, I just got up, did my meditation, and I'm trying this video on a tablet or iPad, I guess, because my phone has that film that's over top of the front camera. So I'm hoping this will be better. And I'm hoping I'm going to be able to figure it all out on how to do that, linking in the description. I tried it last night, but I couldn't find it in the description, the link, so I'll try again. And I love you all. Thanks for your dedication to these videos. And I hope that you find something in them. And thank you for your encouragement and beautiful comments and all the love that I see from you all. Please be safe during this fourth wave. Whatever your decision is about vaccines, again, up to you. But my advice is please get vaccinated. I don't want any of you to get sick and have lasting effects or possibly lose your life or the lives of loved ones, because it doesn't have to be that way. That's it. And again, I apologize for this really long video, but I needed to share those things with you. Walk in compassion and walk in love, and make your state of being a place where, as a beautiful soul I met recently always says, only love lives here. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Take care.